spent how many days?
Yeah, no, but I wasn't talking much to her, so I don't really know.
Why is that? Why do you spend that much time with someone in the house and not know her?
Because there's negative energy from her.
Also, that's what I want to know.
It's not relevant to me.
Get me here, right? We're talking about outside of the house.
Yeah.
This is a competition. Things might have happened. Yeah. How does that still carry on outside of the house is what I'm trying to understand.
Okay, for me, my life was going a certain way. I went into the Big Brother house because I wanted to blow. I've been acting for 5 years before going into the Big Brother house. I wanted to blow. And I didn't exactly go in there to make friends. As I've said, I don't know how to make a lot of friends. I came out and I just went back to my normal life and I've been working. So if I felt negative energy from some people, I'm like, okay, now we don't have to see each other again. We just keep it moving. I don't even think about her. So like, I can't even say, oh, I have issues. Like, she's not in my head. I don't know her. She doesn't exist to me. That's it.
So it's convenient to say that because I know that there was a Lakon angle to it with the conversations that it looked like she might have had about you. And when that happened was when it looks like things completely went left for both of you. You guys were not necessarily friends at the time, but at that point it looks like there was a cancellation that happened. What exactly did she do that made you stop seeing her?
She said a lot of negative things about
Things
me.
like what?
I can't even remember. It's not that relevant to me, but I know there was that she said that I did jazz. And then there was time she said I could break my leg and she won't feel a thing or something like that. She said I'm stupid, I'm weak. She said a lot of things about me. So what is the point? Like, it's only a stupid person that would want to even communicate with someone who has said so many negative things to the person. Like, why? Like, if you ask her now, what did Erica steal your biscuit or something? I don't understand. Like, but it doesn't matter. Everybody has their reasons for doing things. We're all adults.
So, V, let's come to you because she says she doesn't see you. I don't know if you see her, but let us understand from your perspective how things have gotten to where we are now.
I do not associate myself with Erica in any form, shape, or manner. Like she said, we don't see each other, we don't talk. There's no point of talking. I just don't care. I just don't care.
You said a lot of things about her, like she said.
100%.
What is that?
See, I'm a very defensive friend, firstly. Erica can say we didn't talk much in the house, but I remember we had conversations about Lakon more than once. And yeah, 100%. Tonani was there for one of them, where she expressed what she was going through with Lakon, how she felt about Kid, and I also gave my advices. I remember when you questioned me about the whole situation, the whole storm, I said what I said there, and I blatantly expressed that I did care more about Lakon's feelings than hers because I was closer to Lakon. I don't know if there was a comprehension situation because I feel like I speak very good English. So yeah, and then you asked me about the whole cast and bind thing. I told you that was banter. I told Lakon that his move button would be impressed 100%, and it didn't get into a certain kind of. And after I said that thing, I even walked past and I was like, I think we should talk. And we spoke on that Sunday.
That's Erica.
I spoke to her on that Sunday and I was like, it's nothing personal. I'm just looking out for my friend. And I don't think you're a bad person. I've stated to you before, give him some space. He likes you. You're around each other 24/7 in the house. There's no way you can avoid each other. So he's going to struggle. I told her that to her face. And then the Sunday after that, when the whole Tolani bag situation came up, there was a lot of venom in her voice. And I felt like when you questioned her and you were like, oh, how do you feel about V and Neo's situation? And she was like, oh, I'm surprised that Neo hasn't asked her out. And you were like, oh, really? Okay, because you were there when Tolani Badge did this and did that. And it almost felt like a tit for tat. Bearing in mind, the Sunday before, I spoke to her and I said, it was not personal. So do I feel like I need to have a conversation with Erica? No. I don't care for the situation at all. The kind of person I am is I look after my friends and my friends alone. I'm not looking for relationships with people I do not consider friends.
Tolani Badge was mentioned. Do you think this should have been carried out outside of the house?
If they wanted to pursue a friendship or relationship, it's a conversation they could have had. Well, obviously, Erica doesn't care about V, V doesn't care either, so I think they're allowed to feel the way, they're allowed to feel. Same way I don't care about V too, and I didn't reach out to her, so, yeah.
What was the additional comment? I had to
just for the fun of it.
I swear. 5 seconds.
Just for the
Okay, I mean, like I would say, I'm not a the force of friendships. I just want people to be clear on where we are with things. Now let's come to you and Lekon. You obviously ended up leaving the show in circumstances that involved him. For a lot of people watching, it was a very complex situation, which was also in the house. But since the show has been over, has there been a chance, has there been a reach out from any party to say, okay, this thing happened, let's clear the air on things, because it was such a big deal. It led to you leaving the show, and it was about the show. Has this happened outside the house? Have you tried? Has he tried? Has there been any conversation at all?
No,
Why not?
because I don't see the point.
Why not?
I think
You
I'll
came to the
just
show to win. I remember you very well on stage saying
Yes,
you were
I
here
would.
to
I
shine
wanted to
and win and all of that. So you can't say you don't see the point when it led to you not getting to your destination.
I went there for my career, not really to force friendships. If I met people who liked me, I would continue to be cool with them. I'm cool with about like 14 people here. Yeah, so at least those people are they're okay with me, so I'm fine with them. We chat once in a while. But for him, like, it's all about energy now. You know that like someone doesn't have your best interest at heart. So why pursue a friendship?
How do you mean he doesn't have your best interest at heart?
He said a lot of things about me. Like I watched stuff when I came out. I watched stuff and I'm just like, wow, I felt so stupid. I remember one time saying Lekon was the only person that had my back in this house. I felt really stupid watching those videos, especially his conversations with both of them. So I just said I would never be stupid again like that. So that's it. That's it.
Kid, I know we had touched on this before, but just so we're clear. This was such a big deal. You and Tricky T come to mind a lot with that night. And the situation that happened at the dining and all of that. I know you also sort of try to blame yourself a little bit. Maybe you should have handled things differently and maybe things would have turned out differently the way they did. Misunderstanding? Do you think they needed to have had a conversation at this point about that day?
Outside the house?
Yes.
I don't think they need to do anything. They're both adults. They're both very busy, and obviously they clearly know how they feel about each other. And I don't think it's something I would have forced for them to speak. I know how Erica felt about him. So for me, it's like a sensitive thing. I didn't want to sort of, push her to talk to him. And I felt like she was in her right to feel how she wants to feel and distance herself from what she feels is probably negative energy. Because, when you have so much love and kindness in your heart, you want to stay away from things that don't bond with your energy. You just do that. So that's her decision.
Yeah.
I mean, very often in life we think you need to speak to someone and get closure. Someone's closure may be not speaking to that person and then moving on. Because time is the best healer.
Yeah.
So maybe next year they could have become best of friends or they could have spoken about it. Right now it's still very early. I mean, it's 9 months or 8 months out of the house. Tensions are still quite high. But I'm pretty sure once a new season starts and, again, when life humbles you and you sort of just grow as time goes on, one of them might reach out and be like, you know what, it's cool.
I mean, you're very good friends with Erica. What does she say about that day? Because it was a big day, and it defined a lot about what she has become, whether for good or whatever it is. Do you sense a certain resentment still?
No, she's just focused on herself. I mean, honestly, Erica has literally been focusing on herself, on her career, and her acting, and it's always just been that people want to make it seem like it's other things to do with the house, but once you put the house behind you and you want to move on, you kind of just focus on yourself, and that's what she's been trying to do. Well, that's what she is doing, but really people are actually just focusing on themselves, and I don't think anyone has resentment anymore because, again, life has humbled you. All right, fine. I'll speak for myself, but what I'm trying to say is that
Not for what I've been saying here so far.
No, but like I said, she's focused on herself.